Hello and welcome to day 9 of this 10-day challenge. This is our third and final core workout. Today's workout is unsurprisingly going to be a little bit more difficult than what we've done in the first 2 core workouts. It's going to build on that, so a lot of the movements are going to look very similar, but they're going to be a little bit more challenging. If you found things difficult in the first 2 workouts, then these exercises are going to be even more challenging. So I'm going to give you variations to stick to from the first 2 workouts. No matter what your level is, I'm going to be giving you really detailed instructions for how to assess, how to feel your abdominal muscles and feel what they're doing. If they're tenting out, if they're bulging and making kind of a tent, a triangle, the exercise is too hard for you right now. If you have a hernia and you can feel some bulging of pressure through the hernia, it's too much for you right now. If you have a diastasis recti and you feel bulging through the linea alba, through the separation, this is too much for you right now. It does not mean you can never, ever do these exercises, but what it does mean is it's too much right now. We need to reel it back and build up strength to gradually get back here. And way beyond here. Eventually you'll be doing planks and crunches and sit-ups and everything, but just not right now. You're not there yet. It's like trying to do a 50-kilo squat when you're not ready for it. We're going to be adding in crunches today. These are sometimes hailed as like the worst thing postpartum, but it depends how you do them and if you're ready for them or not. Okay, let's get started with a breathing exercise. So you're going to come down and lie on your back. We're gonna practice what we did last time, and then I'm gonna add an extra layer in. Okay, so breathing in to one hand on your lower belly, one hand on your lower rib cage, and breathing in to the tummy and into the lower rib cage as big as you can. Nice 360 breath, and then breathing out, letting it all go. Close your eyes if you need to. Breathe into the lower belly, into the lower rib cage. Make it all big, and then as you breathe out, really try and just let the breath go. Don't try and control it or push it out, just let it go. Okay, it's really important to prepare our abdominal muscles in this way before doing core exercises. Breathing in one more time, and then breathe out and just try and relax back down. Don't try and push it out. Okay, then we're gonna just stick our fingers under our rib cage just to feel what that diaphragm's doing. So nice big breath in, feeling your fingers getting pushed out from under the rib cage. And then as you breathe out, they go back in and up into the rib cage, okay? Breathing in, diaphragm comes down, pushes your fingers out, and then as you breathe out, diaphragm goes back up, and all of this stays nice and relaxed. If you're feeling that you're pushing your fingers out on the out breath, you want to really focus on relaxing that diaphragm up and back up into the rib cage. Okay, last thing we're going to do with the breathing, same big breath in, same relaxed breath out, relaxing that diaphragm. And at the end of the breath, I want you to just tuck your pelvis, okay? So you're just tucking your pelvis and pressing that low back into the floor, squeezing your bum, okay? So release the pelvis, nice big breath in, and then as you breathe out, relax the diaphragm, and then you're just gonna tuck your pelvis at the end and squeeze your bum a little bit. One more time. Breathing in, let that diaphragm come down, and then breathe out, and then tuck the pelvis at the end. Cool, okay. So next exercise, first exercise, because that was just our breathing work, we're gonna do a crunch, okay? So just give this a go. What you're gonna do is you're not gonna try and lift yourself up as high as you can, okay? You're just gonna lift your head up, try and tuck your chin in towards your chest. You can put your hands here, or you can put one hand behind your head if your neck hurts. And I just want you to hold a static crunch. Just look down towards your belly and look at what your tummy muscles are doing. Are they bulging up into a tent? And you can feel them with your hand, or are they staying flat? And if they are bulging up a little bit, can you just kind of try and flatten it using your tummy muscles? Can you just kind of flatten it there? If you can't at all, then you're just going to stick with the heel slide that we did before. But if you can keep that tummy flat, what you're going to do is just crunch up. I'm going to hold it here, and then we're just going to straighten one leg out and feel that like Try and keep that tummy nice and flat as we do it, okay? Foot back, and then straighten the other leg out, okay? Heel just floating above the floor. Okay, you might feel your tummy sort of go blub, blub, blub a little bit, but try to keep it flat, okay? So let's try it with the breath, breathing into the tummy, and breathing out, heel slide. Again, so you're just gonna go back and forth, like this, between the two sides of the two legs. And if this is too much, if your tummy's tenting up, or if you've got pressure through the diastasis or in your hernia, you're gonna stay with your head down on the floor and you're just gonna alternate heel slides. Okay, so it's the same exercise, the same heel slide, whether you've got a crunch or not. Just a few more. And you might feel your tummy bulge up a little bit on the in-breath, but then on the out-breath, you flatten it out. Okay, you're not sucking your belly in, you're just kind of flattening it out in this position. Okay, just a couple more. Okay, head down if you're doing a crunch. Now we're gonna go back to this knee up exercise that we did before. So remembering, just bringing one knee up, and then if this was enough for you, just the one knee up at a time. If you've just had a C-section or you just had a baby, this might be enough for you. Okay. But if you can, you're going to bring that second leg up to meet it. Okay, so that was our second exercise. That was our second variation of the exercise. First leg up, second leg up. Okay, now our third exercise is to bring the first leg up, second leg up to meet it. Okay, and then we're going to hold it here. Okay, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees at your knees. Check your tummy, see what's going on. And then we're going to do a heel tap down. So with your ankles at 90 degrees as well, you're just going to tap your heel down on the floor. Okay, tap your heel down on the floor and then bring it back up on the out breath. Okay, so just being in this 90-90-90 position, this is quite hard to do. You don't have to tuck your lower back into the floor. And if your back's hurting, it just means that it's too much. Okay, it's a big myth that you need to tuck your lower back into the floor. Just tap the heel down and come back up. So just holding it here, you're going to feel your tummy working. And just tapping it down, you want to feel your tummy muscles and see what they're doing. Are they bulging right up? Can you not control them? Because if you can't control them, you need to go back to this variation, okay, where we're bringing the first leg up or the second leg up, or you need to go back to the very first variation where it's just one leg at a time, okay? So if you're still here, breathing in and breathing out as you tap the heel down. The hardest bit is when the heel is down towards the floor. Okay, coming onto our side, we're going to do a side plank. Okay, this time, feet one on top of the other, elbow right underneath the shoulder, and you're going to come up, lifting the hip up into this side plank. Feeling what's going on in the tummy. If this is too hard, if your tummy's bulging out, or if your shoulder doesn't feel strong enough, then just come back to here, come back to this knee side plank, okay? Whatever level's right for you. We're just going to hold this for a few more seconds. And then we're going to come onto the other side, making sure that you're feeling what your tummy's doing. Okay, get an idea for what those tummy muscles are doing. Core workouts don't have to be, let's switch sides. Like go, 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 millions and millions of exercises. We want to work the muscles, so coming up onto your feet if you can. Feeling what your tummy's doing. If it's all bulging out, come back into the knee plank, okay? We want to be feeling what our tummy muscles are doing. We want to be strategic with how we're working our abdominal muscles. We want to work them in lots of different ways. And we want to be making sure that the level is right for us, that the level of difficulty is right for us. This is what core workouts or core rehabilitation looks like postpartum. Okay, final exercise, coming onto all fours. We did our bird dog with just our hands. Okay, then we did it with just our feet. Okay, now we're going to try hand and opposite foot. Remembering you've got those 2 cups of coffee on your pelvis and in between your shoulders. You're going to go, if you go right hand, left leg. Okay, we're not just willy-nilly, everyone just does it like this. Just this random, it's not doing anything. I want you to really think about keeping those 2 cups of coffee still. Lifting, twisting this hand so your palm's facing inwards. Push the floor away with the hand that's on the floor. Lift your hand as high as you can and lift your heel as high as you can, but without bending your back. okay? Everything stays completely still here, okay? Switch sides if you haven't already. So I spent ages on that one side. And back the other way. Okay, so lifting our hand as high as you can. Lifting your hand as high as you can and your heel as high as you can. Okay, but those 2 cups of coffee have to stay completely still. And you want to try not to shift your weight over from one side to the other. You want to try and keep everything completely still, apart from the hand and the foot that's coming up. Okay, last one on each side. Again, just not willy-nilly just going like this, like everyone does. Really, really controlling through the arm and the leg. Okay, so we are almost coming up to that 10-minute mark. So if you've had enough, turn the video off. You've done your 10 minutes of workout today, and that's what you signed up for. If you want to stick with me for another 5 minutes, we're going to go back through that little routine and just do each one of those exercises again about 10 times with a little bit less instruction from me. So coming and lying on your back, you're going to come into your crunch. So breathe in, breathe out. As you come up, flattening the tummy out, and then we're going to straighten one leg out and bring it back. If you need to put one hand behind your head, you can do that. Breathing in, breathe out, like if the neck hurts, I mean. Some people find this really uncomfortable to do on their neck. So looking at your tummy, looking at what it's doing, feeling what it's doing, okay? It doesn't have to be perfectly flat all the time. It's okay if it's if you sort of go, oh, just bulge it out just a little bit, or like when I take a breath in, I can see, or if I don't engage it properly, it pops out. That's okay. You don't have to be scared of like it not always doing exactly what you want it to do. It's just that if you really can't control it, this is too much, and you want to be doing these heel slides here. Timing it with the breath. It's an exercise. Okay, so we're going to come into our heel tap down. So lift one knee up. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the second leg up to join it. We're just going to tap this heel down. Okay, feeling what the tummy's doing. Trying to control it through that movement. Again, we're not sucking it in. We're just trying to stop it from bulging out and from just doing random stuff. So many people do all these exercises and like crazy exercises, and their tummy's just making a tent, and it's not doing anything to flatten the tummy or even strengthen the abdominal muscles, in my opinion. Although there's still some controversy about that. Okay, last one on each side. We're going to come into our side plank. So wherever you're at, whether you're on your feet or on your knees, I'm going to hold this for about 20 seconds. And you want to make sure that elbow is directly under your shoulder. You don't want it over here, okay? And you want to make sure you've got a nice straight line between your shoulder, hips, and your feet, and that you're not twisting in like this, okay? Nice, like facing, your chest facing directly forward. Okay, let's switch sides. No idea if that's 20 seconds or not. Okay, and if this is too much, again, feeling your tummy, is it all bulging out? Come onto your knees, okay, and hold it here. It might be that your shoulder's not strong enough for it. That's totally fine. It's where you're at right now. You are obviously going to progress onto a full side plank at some point. It's just not for today. Okay, and last one, we're going to come into our bird dog. So on all fours, hands directly under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and we're going to go right arm, left leg, really focusing on what your body's doing and keeping everything keeping those 2 cups of coffee completely still. What I forgot to mention last time, if there's too much on your wrists, you can be here on your fists. Okay, and if it's too much to do the arms and the legs together, you can just do the arms. okay? And just come back to this, or just come back to your legs. Some people feel it a lot more in their core when they're doing that. But if you are here, again, we're trying to keep that spine completely straight and not just do this. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Trying to keep this part of your torso completely straight, completely neutral. Arm comes up, heel comes up. Try and make a really nice straight line between your hand and your foot. And be really, really mindful of that straight line and of those 2 cups of coffee on your back. Notice if you're shifting your hips or shifting your weight over from one side to the other. Just one more on each side. Last one. And that's it. That was core 3 and day 9 of this 10-day postpartum challenge. Okay, so I think I did enough talking at the beginning of today's workout, but I do want to jump in here and say that these 3 days of core workouts that we've done, this is what core training looks like for most women after having a baby. From the years of experience that I have working exclusively with mums, this is what suits most women in the beginning. This is what suits them to start reconnecting to the abdominal muscles that they don't feel connected to and that have been really, really, really stretched out during the course of pregnancy. And this is how we start to reconnect to those abdominal muscles, but also how we start to connect them to the other members of the core, like the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. So that's how we start working with the breath. That's why we start working with the breath and incorporating movement into that. None of these workouts are going to be 100% perfect for everyone all of the time, and it also isn't always to do, it's not always exactly this is right at 6 weeks postpartum, this is right at 10 weeks postpartum, or a year postpartum, and whatever. I've seen women years postpartum with a really severe separation, or with a really severe hernia, or just with very weak abdominal muscles that find the first core workout challenging. And I've seen women who are 6 weeks postpartum who find all of this stuff that we've done over these 3 days very easy. There are massive genetic factors involved that we just don't have control over, but it's also got a lot to do with what you did before, how you worked before. It's just, there's so much that there are so many factors that contribute to how you respond to this. It might also be to do with how big your tummy was, or what your connective tissue is like, or your body shape during pregnancy. This is all to say that I'm never going to be able to create one core workout that's exactly right for everyone. So along this journey, I'm almost certain that you'll be able to say to me, this exercise was too easy, this exercise was too hard, or this wasn't quite right. There's always going to be things that aren't quite right for you at any moment in your journey, and none of this can be guaranteed to be exactly right for you at different points. But my goal here is to introduce you to what core training looks like after you've had a baby. It's not just about doing all the traditional stuff and just doing a 1-minute plank and then just doing a bunch of like crunches willy-nilly and then a bunch of leg lifts. And it's not about that. It's really about connecting to those abdominal muscles and feeling what they're doing in each of the different exercises, and adjusting the difficulty of the exercises based on what those abdominal muscles are doing. So I really hope you enjoyed this introduction to core strengthening postpartum. I really hope you learned something, and I hope it's given you some tools to start working towards strengthening your core, strengthening your ab after having a baby. If you do want to continue the journey, there's so much more on my online program, whether you feel like you're right at level 1 or if you feel like this was just a little bit too easy for you. On my online program, I take you all the way through from level 1, which is similar to what we did, actually easier than what we did on the very first workout. And then in level 5, we're doing things like sit-ups, planks, plank variations, like just loads of really challenging exercises that we haven't even got to here. This is about level 3 of the program, what we did today. So there's so much more to discover. There's way more that you can do after this. It's not that you're limited to these are the only safe postpartum work with exercises for your core. It's just that this is a really great starting point for most women after having a baby. And most women, from what I see, don't do that or even know that it's a thing. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll at least consider joining my online program. I'll put the link just below this video. And I'll see you tomorrow for our final day where we're going to bring together core mobility and strength.